Here's how to make an A in your Math 110 course using MyLab Math. Each week for each unit, you have a Canva presentation. Here's the Canva presentation for Unit 1 for Chapter 8. The first thing that you want to do is just recognize the week that you're in and the assignment that is due for that week. So we're within week 3. So that's sections 8.2 through 8.3, assignment that you'll be completing. Here's how you make an A in the course. You make an A in the course by first learning the concepts, taking great notes, and applying what you've learned to your MyLab assignments so that you're doing the work yourself and you're not using math apps, you're not using any online or websites to help you answer your own questions. So here's how it's done. So, for example, we're in sections 8283 this week. The one resource that is the most valuable will be the Watch and Take Notes page that begins that section. So here's what you should do. Open the presentation in another window, and you can click on the window link right here, and it opens up into a separate window. And I'm going to scroll to the section 8.2, Watch and Take Notes page, like so. I'm going to open my assignments, click on assignments, and open that specific assignment in its own window. And make sure that you've opened the media links prior to, right, clicking on your questions over here, because these will need to be open before you can open your questions. Have your paper ready or tablet if you're taking digital notes, and you'll watch this one video that explains how to answer each of the 3 questions on the slide. Take those notes, go back to your MyLab, and you'll answer those 3 questions in real time. Now, once you answer a question correctly, what you want to do is, you don't want to go to the next question just yet. What you want to do is click on similar question and do another practice question. This time, try to answer the question without using your notes or without using the view an example to help you through it or the help me solve this. What this does is it forces you into practicing that skill. And when you practice a skill many times, you get better at it, you retain it longer. Right? So I want to show you all this as well. Let's say that I've answered my number 2 correctly, answered it, understand it, but I want to practice a little bit more, and I answer my next one incorrectly. Right? Watch what happens. When I move to another question, it will make sure that I save best score, right? Because you can never mess up your score if you're using the similar question option, as long as you click Save Best Score. So you can practice as much as you want on those questions without messing up the initial question that you answered correctly, right? So just to go back, each question in MyLab, you will have the View an Example option. So if your video notes, if you still don't actually work as much as you want them to, you still have the View an Example option for that question. MyLab breaks down each of those questions for you step by step. Take good notes here, and you also have an option to print the example if you want to. Right? Use that. You also have Help Me Solve This, which is more interactive. It helps you through each step of solving the question, but here's the thing about Help Me Solve This. As you work through the Help Me Solve This, once you close it out, it will give you the question that you must then solve yourself. So your goal is to make 100% on your homework, right? You get 3 chances to answer each question correctly. After those 3 chances, all right, let's give a quick example. You will be given the answer to the question, and if you need to see how the question was solved, like where did this answer come from, simply go to the Help Me Solve This and follow the steps that MyLab will give you through each of those steps. Now, once an answer is marked incorrect, click on similar questions so you can get another chance to answer it and practice. Don't skip questions. Work your questions out authentically. Don't use the math apps to do that, because technically math apps are that's considered plagiarism. That's cheating, actually. But do the work yourself authentically. And we call this chunking your information. After I've completed, as a student, the first 3 questions using the notes from this video, I will go to the next slide, watch the next 2 videos for these 2 questions, go back to that assignment, complete the next 2 questions, right? So we chunk our information, learn a little bit at a time and apply that. Right? Take a pause, learn a little bit, and then apply. But the goal is to practice the questions over between learning the next concepts. So if you spread your practice out throughout the week, take 3 days. If you do 30-minute sessions for your homework, 30 minutes for each day, 3 to 4 days a week, you will have enough time to practice the questions over and over, so that you can retain how to work the questions correctly. And ultimately, you will stay prepared and be prepared to make an A on your test. I hope this adds to your week. Thank you so much. All right, now here's the other strategy that's very important. When you're working on your weekly MyLab assignments, you do have questions that are show work questions. And of course, once you've answered the question correctly and you've shown your work for that question, you don't want to mess up those questions because you've already completed that for that assignment, and you don't want to have to do another question and show another set of work for another question. So here's how you use the sample test questions each week to practice more and not feel that you're going to mess up any of the show work questions you've already submitted for that week. So when you go to the sample test questions, this will not be an official grade. You won't see this in your grade book as an actual grade calculated, okay? So feel comfortable just using these as practice. Use these questions to, as I mentioned earlier, to practice the concepts so that you can answer questions without using math apps, without using a lot of notes, right? And so you'll just simply go to the sample test questions assignments, okay? Use this to benefit you, to make sure that you are keeping things fresh each week leading up to your test. Okay, thank you.